Hi guys, this is Oladoyin, Leader Rose Crafts, Cakes and Stuffs. A wonderful time and a special time. This is another video uh, in Courtship Part 1. In Courtship Part 1. And I'm happy to be here again to talk about this. Most especially for those that have made up their mind to go after friendship going into courtship. And today the topic is in courtship, what do you do? I told you in my last video that courtship is the moment whereby you have to work, and the work is to be done extensively. It's a period to be sensitive, it's a period to work, and the work is not just mere working. It's a time to be serious, time to make sure that you really understand what you are into. It's also a time whereby you don't leave any stone unturned. You must check it, you must weigh it, and so on and so forth. So I want to leave you with 5 to 6 points this day, and I will use the word growth. Growth, because two of you got to grow together. You must learn how to grow together. You can't perform any miracle when you have not made up your mind to grow together. And so I want you to step back and get those points and know what to do when you are in courtship. Stay tuned. Yes, welcome back. The first one is G. I said we are talking about growth, and the first thing is G. Get to know each other by asking questions. You don't know each other by sleeping together. In fact, you don't even know each other by staying together. You know each other by asking questions. You have to get to know each other. Question about life, question about things, question about what he values, question about things he likes, things he or she did not like. Your spouse must be able to communicate, and that is what getting to know each other will help you to do. It's not even a moment whereby you just dash into different eateries and eat food. No, it's more than you eating food. I'm not saying you should not go out. I'm not saying you should not hang out and eat. No, what I'm saying is a busy time, a sensitive time. So the first one, G, says get to know each other by asking questions. 2, root your activities. Let your activities be rooted. ROUTE. When you root your activities, you will get busy and you will understand the purpose of two of you getting together to drive at marriage. Mind you, not all courtship leads to marriage. And so it's a time for you to really sit down. Now, rooting your activity means having time to call each other, text messages, meeting points, but in that process you get to know who tends to be late, goes to programs late, who is strict, who is liberal, who is considerate. We have some people that when they say 4 o'clock, you have to check your time very well, but eventually that 4 o'clock is already 9 p.m. in the night and they are giving you 4 o'clock. So those times are times where you have family awareness. Oh, this is my friend, this is my friend. Even it's not necessary you let them know deeply that you are into relationship or you are friends. Fine. All those things calls for your attention, that two of you are to state things together. Your text messages, what is it like? Most of the time, whatever you are passing through wherever you are is the same thing that person will be passing through wherever he or she is. So that's why I said it's a sensitive period. You check on each other, whether it's a distance relationship, whether it's a close relationship together in the place of courtship. You tend to call each other, ask about each other. Who are your friends in your place of work? Who are your spiritual father? How do you manage your day? Those are the things you have to really focus on. Because somebody will not wake up just in the morning and start clubbing. No. It must have been part of his lifestyle or her lifestyle. So you got to know, how did this person carry on his or her daily activities? What is their day like? Is he a stay at home person? Is he a party person? You got to know so that you weigh your options. You ask yourself those deep questions of, is this really what you want? And people say, I don't know. I don't really know. It was not like that. It was like that. You are not taking care, or you are not paying attention. So you must be able to do that. You root your activities. I know some people doesn't go to parties. Is it that kind of person? If is that kind of person, fine. But I still know some people that they go to parties because of the food they want to eat. In fact, they can eat anything, anywhere, at any time. So that is the reason why you have to take that point very serious. Point number 3, organize your life. Organize what? Your life. And talk with each other. What are the things you want to talk about? Let me tell you one of the things you have to talk about. 1, you have to talk about your spiritual life. You have to talk about your physical life. You have to talk about your finances. You have to talk about your social life, your education, your family values, health, and also set boundaries. Let me go back to point number 1. Point number 1 about your spiritual life. How is your quiet time being? Two of you. Number 1, is it born again? Are you born again? Then someone that is more spiritually sound than the other, you must be able to identify. That is 1. 2, that spiritual aspect, who is going to help who? Under the spiritual aspect, eventually if two of you are getting married, what kind of church do you want to attend? I hope not that someone wants to be in the Redeemed Church and another one wants to go to Celestia. Don't forget that that day you will say that let nothing separate you. It's part of the marriage covenant. So you have to talk about it fully. Not that one father just grew up one day and tell you that he has a ministry and you must be there. And then your wife says, no, we did not talk about it, so I'm not going. And your home starts to have issues from that point. Settle every spiritual aspect. What do you want in your spiritual life? How do you want to grow? What is your vision about your own spiritual life? Number 2, your physical life. Under the physical life, we talk about look and habits. What did he or she likes to do? What is his or her own habits? Some people like sleep very well. They can sleep for Africa till they will pack all their things in the house. They keep on sleeping. So under that physical life, look at, in fact, you don't stay outside and be cooking stories. We have time for you to be at home. We have our family values. Then another one is your health. And this will make me to ask you to watch out for a video that talks about juicing and fruit fast for this coming year. We're going to do that and pay attention closely to our health. And so you can't afford to do it anyhow. And lastly, you must set boundaries. Maybe you have a meeting point, you have what to wear when you are seeing each other, so that you won't be affected. You have a place to stay together and talk together, and make sure that you have what it takes or what you think is okay for you. And then the other point is you weigh your options and your points. When you weigh your options and your points, it brings you to a place where you can ask yourself, can I carry on with this? Whether the person tells you or the person refuses to tell you, someone must weigh his or her point and also write down. You have to write down, because when it comes to family, your physical life and everything, you talk about how many children you want to have, you talk about your blood group, you talk about your genotype. You have to be deep and talk. So it's not about you sleeping together that makes it your courtship. Sorry, it doesn't work that way. It's a time to work, and to work confidently. Be sure, be sure. And then teach each other. That's the T under the growth. Teach each other. I know I was someone that doesn't, I'm not an English person when I was courting, and the person I get engaged with was someone that was fast. When you talk about even sentence and every other thing, and then anything about English, in fact, he has most of the ideas. So I tend to learn. But to him, if it comes to mathematics and comes to calculation, he also had to learn from me. So everybody has his own strong point and his own weak point. So you teach each other in order for you to grow. That courtship is also a moment for you to teach each other to grow. And lastly, help each other to improve. Help each other. Don't just say, he said it, you see your life. No, because it doesn't even permit you to even insult her, because you have not done anything to her. She only gave you an opportunity to know her. He only gave you an opportunity to know him. So it's not even a point. But when you help each other, you improve each other, it is for your own good. Both of you are working towards being the best for yourself. And do you know what? You will be paid back in your own coin. Whatever it is that it looks like, whatever it looks like in your own sight, he has to improve. You had to help her. She had to help you. So this is courtship. In courtship part 1, watch out for in courtship part 2, where we talk about how do you detail down those things I have mentioned. How do you go about it? What are some things you have to note in your courtship? Then courtship, at what point do you graduate to say yes, you are getting married? There are so many things you have to put in place. There are so many things you have to ask yourself. There are so many things you have to conclude about and be sure about it. And when you do that, I'm sure you also be part of homes that God is waiting for to give godly seed. God bless you. This video is Craft Ventures, and I say again, remain blessed.